Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy, the Chat Kid, coming back with another 5 video, and today, as you can see by the title, we are going to be doing SONIC.EXE Part 2. Without further ado, let's just get right into the video. This is the fastest time I've ever started. The music changed to that suspenseful drowning jingle as I see Sonic behind Tails slowly getting up and him flying! Sonic wasn't running, he was actually flying! The flying pose his sprite was making looked very similar to Metal Sonic's flying pose in Sonic CD, except it was just Sonic, and he had the black and red eyes again. Only this time, he had the most deranged grin on looking on his face. He looked as if he was enjoying the torment he was giving the poor little fox as he gained up on him. Suddenly, when Tails tripped, another cutscene, the music stopped and Sonic vanished. Tails laid there and started crying for 15 seconds. But this scene was rather unsettling to watch, and I kind of teared up myself. But then Sonic appeared right in front of Tails, and Tails looked up in horror. Blood started to come down from those blackened eyes of Sonic's. As a grin slowly going his face as he looked down at the horrified fox, I could do nothing but watch. Just in a split second, Sonic lunged at Tails right before the screen went black. There's a loud screeching noise that was only 5 seconds. The text returned, only this time it said, "You're too slow. Want to try again?" Then the god-awful laugh came with. I don't know why I went Russian there. I was so shocked by what had happened. Did Sonic murder Tails? No, he couldn't have. He and Tails were supposed to be best friends, right? Why did Sonic do that to him? I shook off the shock as I was blown back to the character select. The safe that had Tails was different. Tails is no longer in the box itself, but on the TV screen itself, which was flickering with that red static. Tails' expression scared me. His eyes were black and bleeding. His orange fur had gone black, and he had an expression of anguish on his face. Trying to ignore it, I picked Knuckles next. The laugh came off again, and the screen cut to black and said that for over 10 seconds. This time the level said, "You can run." Oh no! I was really freaked out by now. I couldn't tell if it was a glitch, bro, or a hack, or some kind of twisted joke, or anything really. But despite my fear of what happened next, I can't do the stupid voices anymore. This is gonna annihilate my throat. The next level looked much different. It had the ground of the scrap brain zone, but the sky background looked much different than the main menu. It had the dark, reddish, cloudy sky, but it was the music that creeped me out the most. It sounded like Geiger's theme after you beat Porky in Earthbound. I also noticed Geiger's theme I also noticed that Knuckles looked afraid just like Tails did, even though not as much. More rather, he looked a little unnerved. He broke the fourth wall just like Tails and asked me if and looked as if he wasn't sure about going on, but I made him move anyway. He ran down the straight pathway in this dark level, and as he did, the screen started to flicker red static a couple times, and then that maddening laughter came again. Then, after a few seconds of running, I noticed several bloodstains on the metallic ground. I felt a growing sense of fear again, thinking something horrible was going to happen to Knuckles. He looked nauseated walking down the bloodstained road, but the skill kept him going. Suddenly, as Knuckles ran, Sonic appeared right in front of him with those black and red eyes, and static appeared. Again, when the static vanished, showed nothing but the black screen was saying, "Wow, you!" I was now scared. Sonic found my Knuckles already. What was going on? Anyway, red static came again, and then I was back to the level. Knuckles looked like he was panicking, and Sonic was nowhere to be found. And this time, that high-pitched squealing from Silent Hill's once final boss was playing. Was this some kind of boss battle with Sonic? I hope to God it wasn't, honestly. Suddenly, Sonic appeared right behind Knuckles in what appeared to be pixelated black smoke. I made Knuckles turn and then punched Sonic, but Sonic vanished into pink and black pixelated smoke before I could even land a hit. Then that terrible laugh went off again. Then Sonic appeared behind Knuckles again and made him punch again, and Sonic vanished laughing again. Jesus Christ, that's a variety. Knuckles was panicking even more, and I felt like I was going crazy. Sonic was practically playing with us. He was playing a slick, twisted little mind game with me and Knuckles. Another cutscene played as Knuckles fell to his knees and clutched his head, sobbing. I felt his agony. Sonic was actually driving us both crazy. And then for a split second, Sonic lunged at Knuckles with the screen went black and with another discordant screeching noise that lasted for at least 3 seconds. Another text message appeared. So many sorrows to play with, so little time. Would you agree? What the hell just was going on? I started to think Sonic was actually trying to talk me through the game, but I was too scared to think that you think of that for Ben Tram, mate. I was brought back to the main menu, and this time to the second box file. Knuckles on the TV screen. His red fur darkened to a reddish grey. His dreadlocks were dripping with blood. He has dreadlocks with blood, and his eyes were black and bleeding too. And he had a look of sadness on his face. I began to think that those were actual characters trapped in those TV screens or the save files, but I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. So I shut the game off and I had a break. I took a nap, which I wish I hadn't, because then I've had the most disturbing nightmare. I was in pitch black darkness that was under the light given off by a lamp that hung high above my head. I could hear the cries of Knuckles and Tails nearby. They were saying stuff like, "Help us," and "Why didn't you give us to him?" and "Run away before he gets you too." Their cries died out, and then as I heard Sonic laugh, his laugh, it sounded a lot like the distorted chemical laugh. "You're a lot of fun to play with, kid. Just like your friend Kyle, though he didn't last long." I was scared and was looking around for the source of the voices. "Won't be long now till you join him. Hello, my other friends." I saw him walking towards me, flickering in and out in several directions. "You can't run, kid. You're in my world now, just like the others." When he grabbed me and I saw his bleeding black and red-eyed, grinning face, I woke up with a fright. Pardon me. After a couple of hours, I decided to continue playing the game. Wow. I don't know why, but I had to know. I had to figure out why this was happening. So I turned on the computer, turned on the game, and selected Robotnik next. I still thought that was wacky, playing as Robotnik. But anyway, the level title appeared again, and this time it said ... which I found really freaky. This time, I was in some kind of classic hallway. Didn't really look like it was from any of the classic Sonic games. That had the pixelated style. The floor was shiny and checkered, the walls were a dark greyish purple and animated candle lights, and a few blood stains here and there. There was a dark red curtain hanging across the top of the screen. Every 12 seconds or so, the red curtains would sway very slowly, but whenever you're playing the game you can barely see it move. The music was oddly pleasant. The piano played a rather sad yet peaceful song. But I knew this was better. This was the song that played in Hill Act 1, only it wasn't in reverse. Robotnik didn't look entirely nervous like Tails and Knuckles did, but he did have a suspicious look on his face, as if he was just a bit paranoid. He had a little animation when I left him standing. He turns his head to the left and then to the right at least twice, then shrugs at me, as if he has no idea what was going on. Even though I was scared out of my mind about what was going to happen, I had Robotnik continue onward. He did his usual running animation, you know, when you've beaten him at the end of a classic Sonic game, when you chase him. And we continued going through the hallway. Then I stopped at a long flight of stairs leading downward. Now I was nervous. Even Robotnik seemed unsure of himself, though I pressed onward. As I led Robotnik down the stairs, I noticed the walls had gotten darker and more reddish. The red torches were now an eerie, but they now turned red. Then we landed onto another hallway. This one was longer than the last one, or at least it felt like it. And then we headed down another flight of stairs. This one was much longer, took at least 1 full minute. And that's when I heard the horrid Kafka laugh. And then the music slowly faded until it was quiet. As it did, the walls turned more dark red, and the torches were a black flame now. When Robotnik landing on the third hallway, I noticed he looked really creeped out, though he tried to hide it. I couldn't blame him. I was scared too. Yeah, problem shared is a problem halved. Suddenly, Sonic pops right in front of Robotnik the same way he did did Knuckles, and then red static. The red static lasted for about 15 seconds. 15-second individual, and then it showed the most pleasant the most unpleasant image. The image showed a hyper-realistic Sonic standing in the darkness. We could only see his head and torso faded into black. And when I say hyper-realistic, I meant so real, you could actually see the lines in his blue fur. As if you could actually feel the fur if you touched the screen. His face. "Oh my god, that's the most horrifying smile I'd ever seen." And I'd saying something considering I saw that image at the start of the game. His eyes were wide and black and once again crying blood, which also looked hyper-realistic. There were also 2 glowing red dots in those black eyes saying, "Right at me!" As if staring into my mind. His grin was a wide and demonic. It literally stretched the sentence like a Cheshire cat except like fangs. Very sharp fangs. Just like the werewolf's teeth, except more vicious looking, somewhat yellowish or British. And from the looks of it, he had stains of blood and small bits of flesh on his lips and fangs as if he ate some animal. I stared at that gruesome image for a good 30 seconds. That's gonna annihilate my throat. Never taking my eyes off it. I felt as if I was actually looking at me, smiling at me. That face, it just took 10 seconds for it to etch itself into my brain for good. Then the screen flickered with red static again 3 times, and on the 3rd time I heard the Kafka laugh, except this time it sounded distorted. Demonic even. Oh no. It went back to the image again, except this time there was the text, though it was messed up. But it was pretty much one of the most horrifying things I looked at since I had the game. I am God. It was when I read that message that while looking at Sonic it hit me, I realised it there and then. This Sonic was a monster. A pure, evil, sadistic, all-powerful, nightmarish, demented monster. And all of his victims, including Tails, Knuckles, Robotnik, and possibly Kyle, are just his little toys. And the game is the very gateway into his chaotic, nightmarish world and the very hell his victims are trapped in. Suddenly, in an actual split second, I screamed and Sonic lunged at the screen, screeching loudly with his mouth wide open to an unnatural length, revealing nothing but a literally spiraling abyss of pure darkness before the red static came again. This time much louder and distorted, so loud that it hurt my ears. I yelled and grabbed my ears, and as the red static screeched for a good 7 seconds. Then it stopped and showed nothing but a black screen. As I sat there staring at the black screen, one last text came up. Radio round 2. Tom. The Kafka laughs, now sounding more clear as if Sonic was right behind me. Played again 3 times as I looked at the text in shock and confusion. Then I got booted to the main menu and this time the third save file, the TV image of Robotnik in the game. Same tormented state as Knuckles. Robotnik's skin turned a dull grey. His mustache drooped and he had blackened. Also, so he gets younger. Interesting. And blood coming from them, and he had a mere dead expression on his face. I looked at Tails, Knuckles, and Robotnik, and I cried for a bit. I pitied them for the agony they're going through. They're forever trapped within the game, forever tormented by that horrid hedgehog, and always will be. Then the computer shut itself off. What? I couldn't turn it on, couldn't turn it back on the bottom while I did. I sat there for maybe 25 seconds, horrified by what just happened. Sonic is the very embodiment of evil. He tortures people who play his game in more ways than one. And when he gets bored, he drags you into the game. Literally drags you to hell. Where he can play with you or where he can play always as his toy. I can't get the game out of my computer. I think it's stuck in there, but at least I managed to turn it on now. Oh no! As I sat there for 25 seconds, I heard a voice right behind me like a whisper. Tried to keep this interesting for me, Tom. I turned around to see where the voice came from. What is on? Made me scream. Sitting on my bed, staring right at me, was a Sonic plushie, smiling with blood stains under his eyes. No! No! Oh no! Not that! Oh no! Oh no! What an interesting story. And when I say interesting, I don't mean very good. Now, this story's garbage. I just don't think this is good. Yeah, I'm just reading through Jesse the Hyena's stuff right here. Oh well. Yeah, I didn't think it was good at all. That although I do think that bit where the Tails, well, the Sonic doll sits on his bed with blood under his eyes. I do think that is genuine. This one of the most ironically funny things in creepypasta I think I've ever read. Good times, man. Good times. And this is the easy times as well. Like, this is like back when everything was so much easier, you know? Like, I don't need to be pessimistic. Or not pessimistic, but depressing even. But it's just times used to be easier when this shit was made, you know? Like, it just used to be so much easier. Now we've got, you know, world conflict, Russia and Ukraine conflict. We got COVID. We've got what else have we got? Just everything going to hell. All of 2020, near enough all of 2021, which was not much better. And hey ho, I'm in year 11 now. I'm an old ass man, bro. So the only thing that mattered back in bloody 2011, or whenever this stuff was made, was how much people cared about it, honestly. Like, you know, it was just easier back in the day. And I just wish I could go back to that time in the current state I'm in now. Because, like, that'd be well good. So, yeah. Closing thoughts. It's not a good pasta. Ironically funny, though. Jesse the hyena is a bad person. I assume he's a wrong'un around children. But, yeah. I don't think he's a good person. I'm fairly certain he's not anyway. Threw a hissy fit when he got his stuff deleted off of the creepypasta and then moved on to trollpasta, which I think was then deleted off there as well. Bloody madness. But hey ho, I've actually got something really cool I want to announce. I'm gonna be in the process of making a History of Slenderman video. It's gonna be an actually good video. I'm gonna write a script. Probably gonna bloody take notes. Probably gonna at least try and edit because I don't know how to edit well. And hey ho, if it flops, then it flops. Although I hope it won't flop because I'm actually gonna put mad effort into this. So yeah, that's my little announcement. That's the end of the pasta. So yeah, check it out.